Labour Party leader calling on INEC to scrutinize candidates' certificates.
No, Iyaloja General in Edo. Every market has its own Iyeki.
After all that has happened in Gaza, is Gaza still a physical place or a symbol?
The Tinubu administration and his minister, shame to them.
You see this our bow and go syndrome? It'll be the death of us.
News, sports, and talk that keeps you in the know. Stay with us. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Welcome to 99.3 Nigeria Info.
ASU for the billionth time is on strike.
The constitution, we need to revisit it. The power is much on one man.
What are we going to do in our nation?
My question about these defections is, whose purpose or interest?
These people are de-educating Nigeria.
They are paying so much attention to themselves, not to national issues.
The position splits of an whole shift plan.
Nigeria seems to be one of the worst countries where you have leadership.
The day Tinubu said, Peter Obi, I support you. That is the day election will end.
No state governor threatening to send any of them that failed to wear a Shiwaju cap.
The biggest problem we have in Nigeria, it is the judiciary and
If you don't support a person, don't vote for him.
Every voice comes alive. Stay locked. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is The Voice Note on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Feminism is just another word for equality. It means equality, and no one would object equality, no one should object equality, and it just means that women should have equal rights as men. And then I said, well, it's very simple. It's not as complicated as some people have made it. I embraced feminism, and I was already a feminist, speaking out for girls' education, speaking out for women in Pakistan and then all around the world. When you speak about women's rights, you become feminist. I just get so disappointed to see that people are at these high positions and they talk against women, they do not accept women as equal, they harass women, and it's just shocking for a second to believe that this is actually happening. And I hope that women stand up and they speak out against it, and I hope that people who are involved in such shameful things, they think about their own daughters, their own mothers, and their own close female relatives, and just imagine for a second that can they let it happen to their daughters, to their sisters, to their mothers, and I don't think they would accept that. I can't change a person. I'll try all my best to give advice, but I think it's a time for women to raise up their voice, so their voices are heard and their voices reaches those ears, and if their voices reaches those minds that still, those views that we are trying to fight against, and for a second we thought that they didn't exist, but they still exist. It's a responsibility that we all should realize that we can all participate in this and we can all contribute to this.
This is The Voice Note on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
If you marry the wrong guy or the wrong girl, everything can be derailed one way or the other. So don't play with it. Don't marry a fool, whether male or female. Have a sense of who you are. And when you have a sense of who you are, you will understand who is the fit for you as the Lord leads you. You will know that it's not about naira and kobo. It's not about silver and gold. The son of a rich man is not a rich boy, because only the one that has the cash flow has the money. What's the best thing that will happen? They'll have a big wedding. They didn't have it for you. They had the big wedding for their own image. They will give you a house and many cars on day one. All the cars will get old at the same time. And if you do not have the capacity to maintain or to keep them, you're already in trouble. They can't pay school fees. Cash flow is money to do everything you need to do every day, not for the wedding ceremony. So marrying the son of a rich man is not your solution. Seek to find the bone of your bone. Who can accommodate the vision and the ambition in your heart as a person? Who can be an enabler for you to emerge? Who can encourage and support you? It might not look like it right now, but just understand that people manifest in what? In seasons. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Look for a man that fears the Lord, a man who is responsible and right thinking. He has vision and he has ambition. I guarantee you, he will show up somewhere and you will be glad you met him.
Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hello Lagos, this is still the Morning Crossfire on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. We've had a ride all morning and this is the time to have a conversation about President Bola Tinubu's ambassadorial list. Now, in the last week of November, President Tinubu put forward 3 non-career diplomats to serve as Nigeria's ambassadors. I mean, many people believe that those first 3 names were supposed to be seconded to the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. Now, the appointments will take effect after a Senate screening and confirmation. The nominees, the first 3 people, included Ayodele Oke, retired Colonel Lateef Kayode Are, and Ambassador Amin Mohammed Dalhatu. And on the last Saturday of the month, the president forwarded a new list of 32 ambassadorial nominees to the Senate for confirmation, making it 35 nominees. The second list, has generated so much controversy. Of course, we know that on that list is the former chair of INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, and people have been raising concerns about the ethical issues of him being nominated, and everyone is waiting to see if he will accept the nomination. So we'll just run through the list today, and with me, joining me virtually from Abuja, is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Digital New Media and then Digital Engagement and Strategy. He is Ogra. Glad to have you here on the Morning Crossfire.
Good morning, Hilary. Glad to be here, and thank you for inviting me to the show.
Okay, so let's start with this. Can you tell us take us through the list? Was there any sort of screening process? How did the president come up with his list of 35?
So, as you know, before ambassadorial lists are released, there's a proper audit of a very comprehensive audit of what our foreign policy needs are. In this case, the 4D diplomatic thrust of this administration. And this list presents a balance of, competence, our foreign policy needs and, vision, and as well as, other Nigerians that can fit what we're trying to achieve. It's a deliberate mix, if you look at it, of career diplomats, those in the security and intelligence sector, technocrats and individuals with proven expertise, in governance.
So can you're talking about the president's foreign policy thrust. Can you take us through his foreign policy thrust? What exactly is he looking to achieve?
So, as you know, for this administration, it's mostly been about economic diplomacy. But as we also know, which the Minister of Foreign Affairs has spoken to many times, Nigeria has the 4D foreign policy vision. And what does that mean? It's diplomacy, development, the diaspora, and the demographics. In terms of diplomacy, we are seeking to reinstate our country as the premier country in West Africa and Africa. So we gain our pride of place, direct a lot of the Africa-focused interventions that we've always done. As development is concerned, economic development has been prioritized by Mr. President. You've seen it from all his foreign trips. It puts economic development first. It puts economic diplomacy first. In all of those trips. As to the diaspora is one of our biggest, they are ambassadors, or our biggest ambassadorial, cohorts as Nigerians, and they also contribute a lot more to this country. So whatever foreign policy direction we choose to go, it must also prioritize the well-being, the safety, the security of every Nigerian in the diaspora. And on the last one, development, internal security, the development of our people in-house in Nigeria must be prioritized. We're looking to see how we can use our foreign policy measures to improve and better the lives of all Nigerians, regardless of where they are in the world. So that's the foreign policy in a nutshell for you.
But why did it take the whole of 2 years to send the list of nominees? I was talking to someone this morning, and he was saying that these diplomats might not even resume. By the time we go through the screening and everything, we might find ourselves in 2027.
Yeah. So if you look at the list, It's, for me, I think it reflects a very deliberate reset of our foreign policy and diplomatic thrusts. Secondly, I told you earlier on that the president ordered a comprehensive review and audit of our foreign policy missions, of our foreign policy, architecture and everything. And what we found out during that audit was that we had a lot of embassies that had a lot of our foreign missions, 109 of them, that had a lot of unpaid rents in some cases, utilities, staff were not being paid and all those things. You cannot say you want to project yourself as a country within these new lights that we're looking to project Nigeria, and the missions cannot take care of themselves. That's one. Luckily for us, the president, after we've cleared all the internal issues we have in terms of the fuel subsidies and all those things, finally approved that we could pay them off. And I think the Minister of Foreign Affairs released the press release to that effect, I think 2 or 3 months ago, that they had been cleared off. Secondly, it was very important that the security audits for some of these names took place. We did not want to repeat the issues of the past where ambassadorial nominees would be selected and they would have question marks. And that security audit has mostly been done. Some names have gone up the list, some names have been put back on the list, some names have been introduced into the lists. But at the end of the day, these things take time. And what I think has been most instructive for us is that the president is very deliberate. He is Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very, very interested in ensuring that we get things right. And that's what has been done in this case.
So you talk about security audits and you said it takes time, but should it have taken the whole of 2 years? I remember the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, took about 5 to 6 months before appointing a cabinet. And seriously, not a few Nigerians were disappointed by the names on the list and the performance of the ministers. What is different here? Why did it take the whole of 2 years? And many Nigerians will also argue that it took 2 years and we have the same names, former governors, and the list looks like it looks like a political list. Let me reward these people, these former governors, the former governor of Abia State, this former governor here and there and there. And there's a particular name that I'll come back to. But should it have taken 2 years to vet these people? Especially for a president who knew he was going to run.
The list is pretty much balanced. Out of 35 people, you have 18 career diplomats. And then the rest, you have a mix of, like I said earlier, technocrats, you have Nigerians of reputable character, and you have Nigerians with some experience in governance. So it's a pretty much balanced mix, which is what almost every ambassadorial list across the world, does. You put the technocrats in your core, critical missions, and then you also have some missions that's another critical to you where you put other people. But I think most importantly is that we have strived for balance, and that balance is there. What is different, you asked, and I think what is different for us as an administration in any of the appointments we've done is introducing KPIs across board, whether it's the ministerial nominees and who later became ministers. We introduced KPIs for them. Those KPIs were used to determine who was removed and who was replaced, and they're followed through strictly. There's the full arm of the presidency that is dedicated, to that. Same thing for the ambassadorial appointees. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in collaboration with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's team, will be introducing KPIs for our ambassadors anywhere they are in the world, and this will be followed through, very, very clearly. Nigerians deserve, people who serve them, who are accountable to them, and who will do the work that they've been sent there to do. The days of going on an ambassadorial appointment or the days of taking a ministerial appointment and thinking it's business as usual is no more. Even in the presidency, as an aide to the president, you misbehave your house. There's no room for slacking. There's no room for misbehavior. There's no room of giving less than the best to Nigerians. But what's most important is that there's a process that guides this. It's not arbitrary. And that process will continue to guide performance management and consequence management.
Now, talking about the timing of this list, is this related to President Donald Trump's threat to send boots to Nigeria, boots on the ground? Is this a reaction, or was this deliberate? Did the president plan to release this list at this time?
I would say it, yeah, and I would say it clearly.
Because we've seen...
Okay. Nigeria is not bullied. Nigeria will not be bullied, and Nigeria is not reactive. This list is not a reaction to President Donald Trump's statements, as strange as a lot of people felt they were. I'm sure if you're a journalist, and over this year and some towards the end of last year, I mean, conversations have been floating around as to the list, as to the process for this list. And when the minister released announced that the president would approve funds for our missions 2 years ago, I think it was also made clear that this was part of the process of appointing ambassadors. So this has been something that's been in motion. And I'm happy that the list is out. And I think what Nigerians should be looking at now is demanding that there's some form of transparency and accountability in them carrying out their responsibilities to Nigeria and Nigerians.
Okay, so we'll be going on a break soon, but when we come back, we'll just take a look at some of the names on the list. Nigerians have raised issues about some names of the list, someone like the former INEC chair, and also some other people who in the past have used derogatory words on the president. I mean, if they could speak ill of leaders like him, how are we sure they're going to represent Nigeria well? But that will be after our break.
Thanks very much.
Talk, news, and sports after this.
Start your day and have a good time.
Kivo Creamer.
Where you need to have the break time.
Kivo Creamer. Turn your savings into real gains in the Union Bank Save and Gain campaign. Save 50,000 naira or more in your Union Bank account. Perform 5 transactions on our digital channels to qualify for monthly cash rewards of up to 5 million naira. No raffles, no delays, just gains every time you save with Union Bank. Campaign runs until April 2026 and is open to new and existing customers. Terms and conditions apply. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Yeah, so this is Jolly Johnny on the streets. How well do you know Maggi chicken flavor? Oh yeah, spell celery.
S-E-L-A-R-I-E. Celery.
Bros, you want turn to salary? Okay, spell turmeric.
T-U-R-M-E-R-I-C.
Yes, so
turmeric.
Correct. 1 carton of Maggi chicken flavor for you.
Maggi chicken flavor with onions, celery, and turmeric. My game changer.
This one where you dey share Coke and Fanta today. What's it happen?
My guy, you never hear them say 35cl plastic bottle don't drop to 300 naira. 300 naira. No be 350 we dey buy am before. Yes, so the price don't change. Now 300 naira now. Meaning say you dey save 50 naira for every bottle. This one na real small price, big refreshment. Oh yeah, my guy, you say take 1 bottle.
No lose guard. Grab your favorite 35cl plastic bottle for Coke, Fanta or Sprite for just 300 naira for any store for your side. Promo go end when I will finish. Coca-Cola, real wonder.
The energy from breakfast doesn't last my child the whole day. By halftime, your champ will be low on energy. That's why break time is the right time to refuel with the nourishing Milo drink.
Keep your champ in the game with a Milo drink in their lunchbox. It's made from the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and contains iron and calcium. Milo drink has a great taste your champs will love and a nourishing energy to help them make the most of every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Update. Here's the gist. New Good Mama detergent delivers expert cleaning and fragrance boosters for extra freshness. All in a freshening pack made for your upgrade. Try it today.
Good Mama, the washing is fast. Good Mama, my fabric is barely fresh. Good Mama, express cleaning. Good Mama, my laundry is on to smile.
There's a reason she's a good mama. Express cleaning, extra fresh.
The biggest food festival on the African continent is back. It's the GTCO Food and Drink Festival, wait for it, Holiday Edition. That's right, on Saturday 20th and Sunday 21st December 2025 at the GT Center, Plot 1 Water Corporation Drive, Oniru, Victoria Island, Lagos, the GTCO Food and Drink Festival returns for a special holiday edition. Think mouth-watering street food, retail stores, exclusive chef demonstrations, and master classes. And for the kids, a magical holiday wonderland. The GTCO Food and Drink Festival is for everyone. Your holiday experience starts here and attendance is free. After all, what's a holiday without good food? Don't miss the holiday edition of the GTCO Food and Drink Festival on Saturday 20th and Sunday 21st December at Plot 1 Water Corporation Drive, Oniru, Victoria Island, Lagos. The GTCO Food and Drink Festival, supporting small businesses and promoting enterprise.
Hey, Omo! See package! This is what I call full house.
Yes, sir. That's me. I full.
Huh? Who's talking about you? I'm talking about this Peak Yogurt Drink Full House Pack in your hand.
The Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House Pack with more refreshment contains fresh cow milk. Share and enjoy full house goodness filled with essential vitamins and minerals. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how I make a milky bowl of golden morn.
Yay!
I like to have my golden morn in a bowl first, then pour some warm water. I just stir and watch it turn into milky, nutritious enjoyment.
But when did you add milk?
I'm using Golden Morn 3-in-1, so no need to add milk.
So delicious, Mommy.
Golden Morn 3-in-1 comes with milk inside already. Get it for your family today. Golden Morn. Make every day golden.
Guy, you don't enjoy big boys gang go. What's be this new sneakers where you don't wear so? Hey, na Skechers though. This shoe light, soft and comfortable well. Even that back pain we been to get, it don't come on. Now comfort don't they make you look like fashion influencer now, Abi? Hey, no be any Skechers I buy you. I still buy Havaianas and Reebok join. They stylish, light and it's strong kakaraka. I feel wear them for morning rich night and I go still feel okay. That's all you reach. But wait though, Skechers, Reebok, Havaianas, only you one. You don't want big boy finish now. I beg, leave me jare. Go buy your own before I finish so.
You don't hear Amo. Black Friday season don't show again. Enjoy correct discounts on top Havaianas, Reebok and Skechers sneakers, slides and lifestyle footwear wey will make you look fresh and feel good. Visit any of our stores for Lagos, Abuja or Port Harcourt, or you fit even shop online for shopbcode.com before the discounts waka comot o.
Hey, Omo! See package! This is what I call full house.
Yes, sir. That's me. I full.
Huh? Who's talking about you? I'm talking about this Peak Yogurt Drink Full House Pack in your hand.
The Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House Pack with more refreshment contains fresh cow milk. Share and enjoy full house goodness filled with essential vitamins and minerals. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes. Made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Welcome to Nigeria Info, where the news sparks conversation.
The Miete Alakato Breeders Association has condemned the sanctions against them.
They are finished. We're like a sour soup waiting for someone to warm up. You have to wake up to the House of Assembly. You have to wake up to the House of Senate.
All this talk about voodoo is nonsense. If I had any authority, I'll fire
The
him.
football team is as bad as the economy of the country.
If you listen to both ends of the argument, whether it's the one where there is a genocide or the one where there's no genocide.
So ever since they have been saying they have been defeating and killing and the rest of them, it's like what they are just interested in now is who is coming to their party, who is not coming to their party.
So what we call this one now, Chibok 3.0?
This is your space to listen, share, and be heard. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hello, Lagos. We're back. This is still the Morning Crossfire on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, and I am Hilary Noruka. I still have President Tinubu's Senior Special Assistant on New Media, Ogra, joining me virtually from Abuja. But before I proceed, I would like to let you know that we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. On Facebook, we're Nigeria Info 99.3, and on YouTube we are Nigeria Info FM, so you can watch us live there. And also, before we continue the conversation, so this is for Lagos State authorities. We have a message from someone, Lagos State government, that someone wants the coastal road managers to open the road via Ogombo. People are stuck there. Chevron is a nightmare. And now here, well, it's just been a nightmare for people coming from Ajah this morning, so I hope the authorities will just do something to ease the traffic. I mean, I know one of my bosses spent 4 hours in traffic this morning. So let's get back to the conversation. So, Otega, this list, there's a lot of controversy, right? There's some names there. So let's start with that of the former INEC chairman. Why is he on the list? Personally, don't you think this raises some ethical concerns? Oh, we can't hear you. Are you speaking your audio? Okay.
When you say about,
yeah, go ahead.
I said when you say ethical concerns, I would like you to provide some more clarity on that.
Okay, so he conducted the elections. First of all, Mahmoud Yakubu told us, he promised us countlessly that results will be transmitted immediately. That didn't happen. By the time the results were coming in, some of us were checking to see our own polling units, and we're seeing different images, different things. Now, that election was contested. Yes, President Tinubu was declared the president, and then the president is appointing someone who conducted an election that brought him to office. So many people say it's a settlement for different things, right?
I think that is.
And then isn't it a conflict of interest issue?
I think that is unfair to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and unfair to the experience and expertise of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. At the end of the day, Professor Yakubu has served Nigeria, in a very demanding role that required some level of, how would I put it? That required some level of very high administrative capacity and crisis management skills. Those skills would come into play, as well as negotiation skills. Those skills will come into play in serving the country in an ambassadorial role. So I think we should restrict ourselves to the capacity and the technical expertise of the people that were appointed. As to the questions of what is said before the elections and what they did during the elections, I remember telling a lot of young people who I was canvassing to during the elections that always look at a fine line. At the end of the day, the elections in Nigeria are guided by the Electoral Act. What did the Electoral Act say? Did the arbiter of the elections, which is INEC in this case, did they follow the rules of the Electoral Act? If they did, yes, which I believe they did, then that's fine. However, we cannot say that someone said something and then it wasn't contested. If it was contested in the courts of the law, what the courts of the land, what did the court say? I think that should be the final say on this thing. But I believe Professor Yakubu has, he has served this country in a certain capacity. He has shown competence in handling those roles. He has shown certain intrinsic skills that will come into play in being an ambassador for this country.
But it also raises some conflict of interest issues. So we have a new INEC chair. Why wouldn't every other INEC chair just hope to, let's say this particular one, why wouldn't he want to please? First of all, he was appointed by President Tinubu, which is not a problem. I mean, that's the constitution, right? Why wouldn't he want to please the president in 2027 if the president decides to run again, knowing that, hey, after my tenure, I will become an ambassador?
If the president should win in 2027, which I believe he would, there's nothing to show that Mr. President would not come back in 2027.
So you're assuring us that he's going to run?
I'm just saying, I don't know if it would run. The president would announce, once the electoral calendar is out, the president would announce his intent to run or not to run for the elections. But if he does run, I believe he will win. And if he does win, his tenure is not concurrent to the tenure of the INEC chairman. Again, I would say we should restrict ourselves to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's capacity. He has demonstrated that, in a very demanding administrative role. He's also demonstrated a high capacity for handling, crisis. And that speaks to his capacity. And that's what, appointments like this are based on. Capacity first beyond any other thing.
And when you talk about capacity, there are some people on the list, some former governors on the list whose states, you go to their states and the people, citizens there, residents there, aren't pleased with their capacity. So I'm using your word capacity, with how they led when they were governors, and now they'll become ambassadors representing Nigeria. What does that say?
Again, I would repeat what I said earlier on in this conversation. There's a mix of people when you're picking, ambassadorial lists. You have your career ambassadors. Your non-career ambassadors are made up of a mix of people with experience in governance, those from the political side of things, which is from your party structure and everything, and those Nigerians who, we believe that can represent this country professionally and competently in certain areas. And this list represents that mix. Without saying so much, it actually does represent that list. And again, the list has been properly vetted has been vetted by security agencies. So if you do not qualify based on their vetting criteria, you wouldn't be on the list. And again, finally, every citizen of Nigeria has a representative in the National House of Assembly. The National Assembly. And what that means is, if you have any issues with any nominee on the list, please speak to your representative, speak to your senator, because the list is going to go there, for final clearance, and then make your voices heard through the proper channels, of governance. That's why the government is structured the way it is. There's the executive, there's the legislature, and there's the judiciary. The legislature is your voice in government. You all have representatives, either at the House of Reps level or at the Senate level. So use those channels. If you believe that you've not been represented well at the state level, you have people in the National Assembly who you can speak to, who you can advocate to push whatever it is that you're pushing. But on our side as the executive, represented by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have picked Nigerians we've picked a clear mix of Nigerians who we believe have the capacity to serve Nigeria as ambassadors, without recourse to whether, they've spoken badly about the president before, or they've held diverse opinions from the president of the administration.
Doesn't that matter?
Doesn't that matter when it comes to appointments, because we're a democracy.
So let's talk about character right now. Doesn't character matter? Was character considered? Because we've seen people who look like they will just talk down on leaders. They've consistently talked down on leaders, on our presidents, former presidents, like someone like Reno Omokri, right? He's someone who's called the president, in his own words, a drug dealer, I think, or drug addict. He's called him several names. He's called President Buhari several names. When he gets to office, if he scales the screening, who is he going to be loyal to, Nigeria or President Tinubu?
Personally, and as a representative of Mr. President, I would expect every single ambassadorial nominee, or when they become ambassador designates, to be loyal to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That comes before anything else. And yes, you have to be loyal to the president because he is the representative of the states. He is the embodiment of the states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at least for his tenure as president. So yes, they would have to be loyal. But at the end of the day, I want to say something. It's highly unfortunate that you've had people say certain things that were not grounded in facts or law, like what you said earlier on from one of the current nominees. But at the end of the day, Nigeria is a democracy, and people express diverse views. The fact that you have people who have expressed, nasty things or divergent opinions from the president on that list, it shows you the plural nature of how these things go, and it shows you the confidence that the president has, in his work and in picking Nigerians who can do the job, regardless of whether they're on the same side as he is. So that's it. Competence over personal, nuances, personal feelings and emotions. And that is what I think Nigeria needs. And that is what the president is trying to institute for us as a country.
So Lagos, the lines are open. Otega Ogra is here. He works directly with the president, and if you have questions with him, here you can ask. The numbers to call: the mail line is 0201-277-0993, and the female line is 0201-465-7190. I wouldn't be reading any message from WhatsApp, so it's only calls right now because we have limited time. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Hilary. Good morning to your guest. My name is Peter from Shangotedu. My question to your guest is this. We've seen over time that successive government comes, we still see recycling of old hands. Is it that we don't have capable, have younger hands to build the nation? We keep recycling. 2, then to Reno or Mokri, we've seen divergent view, calling of the president a lot of names. Why is it the president held bent to appoint him as an ambassadorial nominee? Would it not be, how do I put it, the decadent to the image of the president representing him abroad? Good morning. Those are my 2 questions.
Well, thank you so much for your question. Yeah. Otega, you heard him.
Yeah. So I think let me put it this way. In diplomacy, in foreign policy, in politics, when you recycle certain hands, it's actually an asset, to the country. It's not unusual in diplomacy. Experience is more an asset than a liability. Many countries across the world, the US, the UK, African countries, the Far East, they do usually reappoint, people that have served before in one capacity or the other for government. And what that does for you as a country is that it cuts the time, especially for and I'm restricting this to ambassadorial nominees. It cuts the time to learn the art of governance. It cuts the time to learn the acts of diplomacy, because you already have some training, you already have some exposure and some experience doing this whilst you had served before. But what I would say again is on this Reno Mokri thing, again, it's highly unfortunate that he made those statements. I wouldn't make such statements, but at the end of the day, is he capable of, representing Nigeria, as a Nigerian? If the answer is yes, then that's it.
Okay, so before I take the next call, I'd also like you to talk us through the representation on the list, right? 35 names, only 3 from the South-South. The Southeast and the South-South parts of this country have always accused President Tinubu of lopsided appointments, whether it's in appointments in, whether it's in the service chiefs and other parts of governance. What should you say about that?
It's very interesting that you brought regional representation into this and say only 3 from the South-South. Yeah,
Nigeria runs on federal character.
On this call, 20% of our questions have been about one of the South-South candidates. So at the end of the day, you have just shown with your questions to me that Nigerians really would rather have people who can represent them, as long as they are competent and capable, and as long as they believe they are loyal to the country, rather than, ethnic, religious, or regional differences. But let me speak directly to your question. Nigeria has 109 missions across the world. Only 35 names, correct me if I'm wrong, have been announced.
Yeah, 35.
That leaves us with 74 names. At the end of the day, every region of this country is going to be covered. Everyone is going to have a chance at doing something, at representing, their motherland. But most importantly is the fact that Nigeria needs capable representation at all levels. Left to me, personally, and I do not speak, this statement, I do not speak for the president, I do not speak for the country. Left to me, I would always say we should always put our best foot forward, regardless of where they are, regardless of where they're from, regardless of what religion they have. But we also need to recognize Nigeria has a federal character. Nigeria is made up of different nations who are together, who have decided to come on together as one single country, one nation under God. So it's very important that is reflected in appointments. It's very important that is reflected in our ambassadorial list, and that will be reflected. So 39 out of 109, there's room for growth. There's room for including even more people from other regions. Who knows, at the end of the day, a region that we might not even be talking of might have the most number of ambassadorial nominees and designates at the end of the day. So I mean, let's give the president the time and the grace he needs to, present his full list before we start making these ethnic or religious conversations.
All right, let's get back to the phone lines because the lines are blazing.
Sorry.
Hello.
Good morning.
Sorry,
Yes.
I kept you on the line. What's your name and where are you calling from? What's your question?
Yeah, this is Joy. For your guest, good morning. For your guest, I just thought that one day you will sit back and have a retrospect of the things you're defending.
So you're not clear. Is there any way you can be clearer?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me well now? Can you hear me well now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, I just said your guest. I hope that one day he's going to sit back and have a retrospect of what he's actually defending. Now, you're saying all the people you have in Nigeria, the person you want to choose is somebody who said there's a technical glitch without anything to show or evidences to show why there's a technical glitch. And you're defending it. No problem. You have somebody who has an anger issue, FFK.
Can you make it
anger issue? Also,
can you make our questions just 1 minute?
I'm just saying, abusing the journalist. How do you see how do people brought some white people down here just to prove a point? And he lied. And they are calling him to come and say what you showed us is not what it is. He kept quiet. He lied for a living.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We also in Nigeria, we don't want to get ourselves into some legal issues, right? So, but Otega, did you hear?
Thank you for coming in there. But she's a Nigerian and she deserves, a response and she deserves an answer. She has made what she may believe to be valid. At the end of the day, it's not in my place to speak or to, put someone's character in a box without facts. Yes, you might, like I said, this is someone, you said earlier, this is someone that's said very nasty things about His Excellency Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Although I think there's someone else. There's someone else she mentioned, right? I think that should be Femi Kayode, who talked down on the journalist.
Yes.
Publicly.
At the end of the day, again, people's characters are what they are. But strip off the character, strip off everything.
Well, we can't strip off the character.
Criteria.
We can't strip off the character.
When I say strip off, let me conclude.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the end of the day, there are various criteria that I use, and character is one of them. The ability, competence is one of them. So at the end of the day, it's not just one metric that is used. There is a metric, there's a matrix that everything is put on. I mean, I'm sure they graded across that matrix. For instance, you might get a 7 in character and get a 10 in security and get a 3. And then what's the average? So at the end of the day, these people have gone through a comprehensive vetting process by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, by our intelligence agencies, by our security agencies, and by the president's team. So a mix of all those things is what has led the final names you see on this list. Again, Nigerians have an opportunity, regardless of where you are in this country. If you have any issues with the list, the president has sent it for confirmation to the National Assembly. Then reach out to your representatives and they speak on behalf of you in the government. They are your voice in the government. Learn to use the tools of government to ensure that you're well governed and better governed. And that's my own personal advice to people. And I'll continue to stand on that, on that hill.
All right. Sorry, someone has been on the phone. I've been keeping the person waiting. Hello, are you still there? Okay, I think he or she drops. But I have someone else. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I want to thank you, I guess, for
please, you need to turn down the volume of your radio set. Can you turn down the volume of your radio set?
Let me go out here.
I need
he's saying that somebody like Femi Kayode, who is still having case of misappropriation, and because he joined APC now, they have left him and he's been appointed as ambassador. Does that very good of Nigeria that is somebody who is still, they have not finished his case, but because he now left PDP and joined APC, for that reason they are now giving him appointment, which means they want to seal
the
whole thing.
What's your question?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah. You heard him. You want to respond to that?
Can you repeat the question? I was struggling to hear what he said.
He was talking about Femi Fani-Kayode. He said that he probably got the nomination because he switched sides, political sides, or parties rather.
I think my response to that is I do not speak on conjecture. I speak only on facts. And I don't think that's a statement based in fact. So I would leave it at that.
All right. I think I have another call here. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Tony. I'm calling you from Ikeja.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Hello?
We don't have time. Go ahead. With
Yes. There's nothing we expect more than what your guest is saying. You understand? Because we already know what his representations will be. So we don't expect more than what he's answering you here. Because to me, personally, Mr. Tony is my name.
Can you wrap up in 30 seconds? Can you wrap up in 30 seconds? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't believe in all what he's saying because we know the ideology of his principle and this government is all based on fallacy. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you so much. Because of time, I'll need to end this because of time, and I will be unable to take any other call. We've run out of time. I have just 1 minute before I leave here. So, Otega, is there something else you want to say in just 1 minute? Or less than 1 minute before we...
Yes, and it's simple. You see, in a democracy, people express extremely strong opinions. And that is allowed. And that is okay. But for me, what really matters is the capacity, the experience, and the patriotism to serve Nigeria professionally. If you see that in anyone, if you have the opportunity to be in such a position, please provide the opportunity to such people to do so. At the end of the day, and I've repeated this 3 times in this conversation already.
All right, we have to go, Otega. We have to go, Otega, because we need to pay some bills. Thank you so much for your time on the show.
Very important. Very important.
Bye. Oh, okay. So Otega.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.